Hi, this is Dr. Randy Hurst, I'm a psychologist doing videos on basic mental health, mental problems, and hopefully how to get from problems to health. This particular one, I'm using the example of training a dog and tying it into how we can train ourselves or our kids. So, and I'm using information based on old research that's been known for a long time, but I'm not going to talk about the specifics of the research, just kind of the findings. So here's the deal with training a dog. And it's something that you've probably seen. Hopefully you haven't experienced it, but I think many of us have, because as we have a dog, especially a puppy, that let's say a puppy, because they haven't maybe got bad habits built in, but you can translate this to a dog that maybe has habits built in that you don't like. Maybe you've got an older dog that you've gotten, and you want it to basic things: learn to sit, lie down, stay, heel, come back to you, fetch. Now, fetch is an easier one because dogs are kind of normally geared towards going after something. Maybe not always bringing it back, but that's another thing. If you understand, especially with a puppy, if you understand that their little brains are just developing, they play, they have fun, they may be scared of things, but they don't know a lot, and there's no built-in kind of dictionary or set of commands that they know. We have to teach them that. And the person who is impatient in that process can often try to have it happen as fast as they want it to happen. And it just doesn't. But if you get impatient and you want the dog to sit, sometimes people will just say it louder. And if the dog doesn't do it, in fact, if you say it loud enough, the dog's going to be scared and wonder what to do, and probably do exactly the wrong thing. The trainer may, push their butt down and look kind of scary. So the dog seems to learn that. After a few trials of that kind of urgent, angry, controlling, pushing it down, the dog may learn to do that. Same with any of the other skills. The harsher, the more punishing, controlling the trainer is, it seems like the skill is learned faster than to do it through positive words, petting, reward, the kinds of things that they say is better. And it is better. It's just slower. In fact, it's a lot better in the sense that if a dog is trained through punishment, one, they're being run a little bit by fear, maybe a lot by fear, but they're very cognizant, they're very aware of the eyes of the trainer. And if the trainer turns their back, the dog often feels like, I can do what I can get away from this, or I can do what I want to do. And of course, the trainer may be one that recognizes, hears the dog is moving, turn around and just get all over the dog. Of course, the dog then is curled up and maybe wetting itself, which then just makes the trainer more angry. So, what do you do here? The trainer is being rewarded by the dog learning faster, but the dog isn't really learning to do what the trainer wants. It can be a real vicious cycle. Oddly, or sadly, we see some of the same things happening with very controlling, domineering parents. In front of the parent, the kids can be like angels, but not necessarily follow through when the parent's not around. So, what's the alternative? Well, positive noticing of what you're trying to have happen. Guiding, maybe putting your hand on the back end of the dog and setting it down And as it's going down by itself, as it starts to go down by itself, oh, good dog, and paying attention to what they're doing right. And knowing it will, especially for a pup, it will take longer than we want it to take. But to be excited. Animals love the emotion when it's good emotion. And they're really scared when it's not good emotion. Animals are run by emotional reactions, well, at least as much as us. So when we have positive noticing of what they're doing, modeling of what we want them to do gently, and then good dog, and then help them learn how to do that over time, it will be huge. Teaching a dog how to stay, expecting that they really don't get it until we teach them. So, okay, stay. Maybe a hand signal, voice, and we start to pull back. The dog's going to want to come with us. And so, no, stay. And that will take quite a while. The farther you go, the more they want to come and stay. And so they're repeating and noticing good dog, and over weeks to maybe even months, being able to go further away before you ever turn your back. Because when you turn your back, now they don't know what to do, because their key is your eyes, your hand. And so turn your back, but only do it for a moment in the beginning. And, oh, good dog, if they did stay. And eventually, dogs can be very good at doing what you want them to, but it's always about the noticing. Now, why am I spending this time about dogs? We have the same kind of biological brain. We can train ourselves in very much the same impatient, angry, frustrated, self-punishing ways that a trainer of a dog can. And we can see what's wrong with the dog, but we don't always see what's wrong when we do it to ourselves. And recognizing that we can do the same when nobody's around, react the way we want to react, react that fearful, angry, reactive way. Or we can notice what we're doing right. We can value that. We can know that our temptation is to react, is to do things that maybe we've done in the past that have gotten to be a problem. And if nobody's around, I had a guy years ago, he quit drinking. He had problems in his marriage. Wife was going to leave him. I'll promise I quit drinking. And there was a situation, I don't remember exactly, but they were going to go on vacation. It was 5 years into quitting. Going on vacation, at the last minute, a family emergency left the wife in a situation where she said, I have to do this. I can't go on vacation. You go ahead. And he did. And the next town that he went through, he said, hey, cat's away. And stopped and got a bottle, a pint. And he was going to just enjoy his vacation, keep things under control. He isn't sure exactly what happened in the time before he ended up in jail, about 300 miles away. He doesn't remember. He doesn't know how much he drank. He knows how much he spent, roughly. But he was in a blackout. He just really has no clue what happened. Great lesson. Because he intended to keep things under control. And sadly, it didn't work so well. Now, that's just about a drinking thing. If you've got something you're trying to change, become more of, just know, changing old patterns isn't easy. Be nice to yourself. Notice when you do well. Pay attention to what you might do. And be real intentional about the changes you're making. But be good to yourself. Because it just adds nothing but grief and stress and reactions to be real harsh with yourself, to be real unforgiving of the way your brain is. And no, this isn't, there's this weird distinction between me and my brain. My brain is this biological machine that gets into patterns. And it can follow patterns and reactions, and my thing, emotions, can't think. But we just pull back and think, stop, slow down, do what you know is the thing that you're wanting to be more of. Train yourself like you would, in the positive way you would train a dog. And be good to yourself like I would hope you would be with a dog. Yeah. Hope it makes sense. And take care of yourself. Look at other videos I'm going to have more on what I refer to as monster taming, but I'm kind of getting the basics out right now about the types of problems there are. And real general things like this about being good to yourself like you might be hopefully good to a dog.